In this edition of Twin Rule Game Reviews, we'll be taking a look at the game BLOC by Cragworks. Now, BLOC is a multiplayer game where you can play 1 to 4 players in Pong type battles. And so, when you start the game, you got the screen full of information. You've got your speed for the ball, which the lower the number, the slower it goes. You can turn off and on basically certain paddles so they won't be used when you're playing your games. You can adjust who of the 4 people are using what buttons, because the game is played off the gamepad only. So everyone has to huddle around and play together on the gamepad if you're doing a 4-player game. And there's also an on option and an off option for having random obstacles on the screen. And so if you have, say, it on, then you see here you get stuff like that. And if you go again, more random obstacles. If you go again, well, this time it happened to generate the same ones, but as you can see, you have those obstacles while you're moving the paddles around. And in this case, I got it running as 1 player, and so you're trying to go as long as you can without dropping the ball down. Now, if you don't touch any of the options whatsoever, and you put it back on the default settings, you can then play a mode where you are trying to get the best score to post onto Miiverse. And you can only get this mode if you don't touch any settings. Can't touch the speed, the button controls, or anything. Well, I think if you change all the buttons to the same format, like all L stick or R stick, etc., then this mode will stay there. But, well, let's find out. So if we go like that, and yeah, okay, so it's there. But the moment you change any of them to any other way, as you can see, it just gives you the countdown. And if you tap the little block in the middle there, the actual word, then it puts it back to default. So there are a few different options in the game. The game itself, like I said, is very Pong-like. And so some of the nice things about the game is, again, you've got the 1 to 4 player battles. You have the 1 player fight for Miiverse type setup where you try to get your best score and see if you can beat the pants off of anyone else who's playing the game on Miiverse. And another thing is the music. I actually like the background music in this game. It's pretty enjoyable. I like listening to it. The paddle control options are interesting, where you can set it up with the A, B, X, Y, or the L and R sticks, etc. The random obstacles do add a bit of a variety to the game. So if you're tired of just trying to play this one and getting a Miiverse score, you can turn on that obstacle, the random obstacle option, and see how well you can do that way. Some of the things that are not so great about the game is there's nothing in the manual which explains the stuff on the screen. So you're basically going through trial and error to understand exactly what that huge mirage of stuff on the screen is for. Another thing is, again with the title screen, because everything's there, it looks kind of cluttered and could be cleaned up a little bit. Like a small little menu for players, I don't know. Only 1 mode, like I mentioned earlier, where you can get into this Miiverse mode for high score. Anytime you change an option, you don't have this mode anymore, and it's the other mode. It'd be cool to have more modes, especially if you're playing by yourself, just to give yourself more of a challenge, because there is no CPU at all. It's strictly player only. And another thing for me is, well, for playing multiplayer, you don't want to really have 4 people all huddled around a small little gamepad trying to play this on the TV. Even though I think the emphasis is watching the screen on the gamepad and playing it that way. But for those who, say, need the bigger screen like a TV versus the small gamepad, it would be nice to have multiple devices to be able to play with. But all in all, it was a decent game. I had fun playing it. As you can see, my high score through making the ball do a bunch of back and forth shots is at 54 right now. And so, yeah, all in all, I'd give this a 6 out of 10. And that's it for this review.